We're ready. Good day,
Oh,
everybody. You're welcome back to the usual channel where we talk about different, where we explore different types of scholarship opportunities. My name is Kudrat, and this morning I have another guest from. You can hear me, right?
yeah, yeah, I can hear.
Yeah, I have a scholarship awardee from South Korea, and we'll be talking about two different types of funded scholarship to South Korea. My name is Kudrat. You're welcome. You are welcome, our guest. Let us know you, your introduction, your name, universities attended, degrees, and let's go.
So, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone. My name is Folorunso Abidemi Bashir. I am a Nigerian, and I had my bachelor's at the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, where I studied civil engineering. Then I moved to South Korea, where I studied civil and construction engineering for my master's at Kangwon National University. And currently, I just concluded my master's and I will be starting my PhD, let me say, soon.
In South Korea, PhD in
Yeah, in
South
South
Korea.
actually, actually it's next month. It's this next month, tomorrow, like on Monday.
Oh, that's soon. Congratulations. So let
So that's
us know about opportunities in South Korea. How many are you aware of? Before we talk about the two examples we'll be exploring today, how
actually
many are you aware of?
there are a lot of scholarships opportunities in South Korea. So I cannot say the number specifically, but I think I know about the GKS scholarship, which is the Global Korean Scholarship, or some people call it KGSP, Korean Global
Okay.
Programs, or and also we have what we call the Professor Scholarship. So the Professor Scholarships work in a way that the professor will give you the stipend, then it's either the professor also pay for your tuition or the university covers your tuition, then the professor pay for stipend. So, but they call it the professor scholarship. So also we have the COICA scholarship. The COICA is a scholarship for the government workers. At least I know few Nigerians that are beneficiary of this. So the COICA is only for government workers. So they just come here and they do their masters, and the Korean government covers their tuition, accommodation, feeding allowances, and stipend and everything. So that I think that's three type of scholarship. So that's the three major types of scholarship anyway.
I asked the question because most people are not aware of opportunities in Asia. We are focused and we know more about in Europe, in Canada, in to other African countries as well. So we don't really have the information about funded opportunities to South Korea. And thank you so much for coming to elucidate these opportunities. So let's go
You're welcome.
to the two types we'll be talking about. What is it? What are the differences between these two opportunities?
If we talk about the global Korean scholarship, it's a scholarship funded by the Korean government. So we call them the government's children, like they are the government's children. So it's a 3 year program. So you have to spend 3 years. Your first year is your language year, where you have to learn the Korean language. Then you start your masters in your second year and your third year for 2 years. Then you can graduate. So, but for
I
the
think that one is it is similar to NAWA. There's a scholarship
yes,
called NAWA to Poland. So
yeah,
where
but now
the first year.
they cancel the language year for now. They don't do language
Oh
year anymore.
really? Oh really? When I was applying the first year
That
was
was
for
then.
Polish language.
We
Oh, I
were talking
see.
about around 2020 or 2021.
2020, yeah. 2020, 21,
Now, they
20.
don't do language here anymore.
I see. So let's go to the second type.
So the second type is just the professor scholarship. The scholarship is funded by the professor because each lab in Korean has what we call fund. They got projects from some companies. So from that fund they get, they employ students like a worker. So they pay for the student's tuition and for stipend of the student from the fund they get from the company. So you're like you're attached to that project. And in some cases, the universities have some scholarship. If you meet some conditions, the university will waive your tuition. So the professor will just only pay for your stipend from the project fund. It is not like he's taking it from his pocket. So they get the project maybe for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So they just pay you every month from the money they get.
So for both scholarship, do we have different application requirements, like the documents we need
Uh,
for application?
let me
Do the,
that applying to Korea is a little bit different from applying to USA and other countries. First thing I would like to say is that in Korea now, you cannot apply with notification of results or any other what they call those things. That you have to apply with your original certificates. You need them. If you don't have them and you say, okay, I have notification of results, statement of result or what they call it, they don't take
statement
it
of
anymore.
result. Yeah. Okay.
Automatically disqualification. So they would not consider your application. So they effected the law last year, I think. So if you don't have your certificate and your transcript with you, like the original copies, then don't bother applying to Korea.
So apart from
So
certificate and transcript, what other requirements? We love to know.
normally, um, to apply to Korea, let me start by this way. You need the same documents like other countries. So you need your certificate, you need your um, transcript, you need your statement of purpose or study plan or what they call it. That's SOP. So then also um, you need your English test if you have one, and you don't need GRE actually. Then what other certificate do you need? You need your passport to travel. Then I think that's all. So I think that's all. So, but the way it works in Korea is before you can submit to before you can get admitted into Korea, you have to apply, right? So when you apply, they try to see if your documents are like authentic, like original. So that way you have to verify your document at the Korean embassy in your country. So but the Korean embassy will not verify your document if you don't go to the if you don't verify it at the Ministry of Information, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and Ministry of Education. So you have to first verify the documents at the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Foreign Affairs, your certificate and your transcript. Then you proceed to the Korean embassy. Then you verify it there. They call it legalization. So you
Okay,
legalize your
legalization.
you
Would
legalize at
that be
the
done
Korean
in Abuja or Lagos? Which of the state?
Korean office. Korean embassy has two branches, one in Abuja and one in Lagos. I did everything about mine in Lagos. Everything in Lagos. And the
Interesting.
Lagos
Interesting.
embassy very, very easy. So everything was done in Lagos for me. And so actually I don't know how much they charge now, but then I think they charge 1,008 per document, like transcript 1,008. Then the what's it called? The certificate 1,800 naira. So, but the problem is now that dollar has increased. I was talking about 2002, 2002. So, but now that everything has increased, I think it should be more than that.
You mean 2012 or 2002?
2002 it was 1008, but I don't know about now. So
Oh, that's a long
yeah.
time. Long
So you
time
have to
ago.
you have to first verify at the document at the this thing, and they always ask for the remitter receipt because they know that the people just do this backdoor authentication at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, MOE and MOFA. So when you go to the embassy, in the Korean embassy, they would ask you for your remitter receipt that you used to that you paid at the Abuja to verify your document. So they will check. If you don't have a remitter receipt, they will then return the document and say go back to Abuja and do it the
So
normal way.
that is to
Because
tell people who rely on agents too
yes,
much.
even if you use an
To
agent,
be very careful.
you have to make sure that you I know a friend that had to pay like twice. They did it, they get to the embassy, they saw a mistake, they said they are not doing it. Then she had to return it to the agent, and the agent had to do it again for her. Like you have to pay twice. So
That's
that's
painful.
and it takes a lot of days. These things, the agent before it gets to Abuja, we were staying in Lagos. She had to send it to Abuja before the person get the document and before the person did it and send it back to Lagos. All those things, and application there's always a deadline. So I know someone that lost admission because of that. So let's go straight to the this thing. The GKS scholarship, Korean education system runs in two ways. They have the spring admission and the fall admission. So for the professor scholarship, you can apply during the spring admission and the fall admission. So the normal way it works in Korea is you have to mail a professor. So when you see mail a professor, like okay, I'll be willing to work with you. If you are going for the professor scholarship, then you should let him know okay, you are relying on the professor scholarship. If he has fund, then if
So
he
which
has
of
fund,
these two scholarships is the professor type? Because
did
we
you
have the names on the design, so that
the
we stick with the
names?
name.
Yeah,
Yeah, we are.
talking about the professor scholarship now. So the professor scholarship is not GKS. GKS is the government scholarship.
Which is
So I'm
fully
talking
funded.
yeah,
So you're
yeah.
talking about the best
So
KNU.
I, yeah, I will get to that place. So the professor
Okay,
scholarship
thank you.
um is the one. So if you apply in spring or fall, so then you have to let the professor know that you are applying, you want to work in his lab as a researcher. Then the professor will let you know if he has the fund to cater for you. So if the professor is okay with that, then he or she will tell you to apply. So where the best KNU comes is that my school, Kangwon National University, they usually cover students like if you are a student with high profile, then the professor will tell you to apply for the best KNU. So it's just a scholarship for my university. Other universities too have their scholarship, like the scholarship run by their school. Like for Kyongbuk National University in Daegu, they call their name what I forgot the name they call it, but they have a name for their scholarship also. So each university has a name for their scholarship. For my own school, Kangwon National University, the name of the scholarship is Best KNU. So it's called Bring Excellent Students to Kangwon National University. So they just short it and make it Best KNU. So when I mailed my professor, I told him, okay, I would like to work with you, blah, blah, blah. Then he said, okay, apply for the Best KNU. So the Best KNU
That's
is
after securing a supervisor. Yeah, I get
so
it now.
yeah, after I got a professor, so he said apply for Best KNU. So if I get the Best KNU scholarship, then it will cater for my tuition. So then the professor will pay me stipend from research fund. So and that was what I did. I applied for the best KNU. Then
Interesting.
I got the best KNU for my masters, and also I got it for PhD again now. So then the professor is paying
So
me.
same KNU they even fund PhDs.
Yes, yes, they fund PhDs.
Oh wow.
Oh, that is the thing. So for to apply for best KNU, you need your normal certificates like others. But if you really want to apply for to my university, you need your IELTS because they would not give you scholarship without IELTS. They would like it's important, like compulsory.
Why
No,
when you applied, did you have I did you write
yeah,
I?
I had IELTS result. Then I wrote one IELTS, I think 2021. So I wrote IELTS 2020.
2021?
I had 6.5 then, so I used it and I got admitted and everything. So I just submitted the application. So another thing they check for the best KNU is if you have a what they call this thing. If you have a paper, if you have a journal, like if you've written a journal. So
Okay,
those are
publications.
yeah,
Okay.
those are the things that will add to your points when they are evaluating because they only select 10 students. So they only select 10 students, 10 foreign students. So if you are not among the 10 best foreign students, then forget it. So
So it's really I think all scholarship opportunities are very competitive now.
yeah, very
They're
competitive.
all.
So if you don't get the scholarship, then your professor might decide that, okay, I'll pay for your tuition from research fund because some professors do the same thing. Like I've heard of many professors that pay the tuition of the student and still pay the student stipend. So that is
Any age limit?
yeah. There's no age limit for best KNU to apply for best KNU. So there is no age limit. So
What about the GSK?
GKS. Let me say something. So for the best KNU, the stipend depends on what the professor is able to pay. Some professors pay a lot of money to students, and some professors don't pay much. So you have to discuss the stipend with the professor. So the stipend depends on how much, or should I say how big the the fund the professor has. So if he does not have a lot of money, maybe he has one project, then he has to minimize his spending. But if he has a lot of projects, like maybe five, six, seven projects, then he will be able to pay a lot of money. Like, okay, I'm getting a lot of money, and this guy is working, so you're working well. And the normal way it works in Korea, when they see you're hard working, the following semester they will increase the professor will increase your stipend. They add some money to it for you.
Wow. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll
then
consider Korea
it's just like to
to
how do I say
motivate you
that
to do better.
motivate or but I'm out when Korea, so they would give you Korea.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Korea.
yeah, so that is about the best KNU. But when we talk about
Another
the G,
question will be okay.
okay,
Do you want me
you
to ask the question?
let me brief the GKS, then you can ask all your questions together.
Okay, okay.
So the
Thank you.
GKS scholarship, as I said, I said the Korean has two admission program, the spring and the fall.
Yeah, the spring and
So,
fall.
and I said the best KNU you can the professor scholarship you can apply for spring or fall, either of this thing. But for GKS, you can only apply for fall, only fall, no spring. So spring
Okay.
admission in Korea is in March, while fall is in September. So GKS application usually opens February. Most times, 2nd of February, they release application and say apply. And it's not something that stay. I think it's always for like a month or something. So and GKS scholarship has two ways to apply. They have the embassy route and they have the university route. So if you are applying to the embassy route, you submit all your documents to the Korean embassy in your country. So if you are applying for the university route, then you have to send all your documents to the university in Korea, the university you are applying to. Do you get me?
I understand now. Yeah. So where you submit your
So
application to is your
yeah, so the way it's done is that I think the last one they did, they gave Nigeria I think 11 slots. I think 11 slots, and they gave university route like six and embassy route like five. So the embassy will pick five students and the universities will select six students. So like that, like in all Nigerians. So it's not like a university. Maybe six universities will just select one. So the embassy will select five out of what they have. So I think it's like that. So if you submit your um, documents to the embassy, then the embassy will call you for further this thing like interview and other stuffs. Then if you get selected, then you'll have selected some schools while during the application. So there are schools you'll have selected then. So if the embassy selects you, then they would communicate with the university, okay, this person is coming and they have selected your school, but you have to check the criteria of the school you want to select. If they have your course, and if you meet the criteria, maybe the GP for the admission, if they request for English test, maybe you don't have English test and other stuffs like that. You have to verify that okay, I am eligible for this school I am selecting. So because if you pass the embassy this thing, then they have to mail the school. So if you pass and the school now say, oh, this person does not meet the criteria of our program, then it's gone. I think you have to select another school, or maybe they would select another person. So that is one. So for the university track, you have to send the document. You have to select the university. You check the day they open the GKS. They start taking documents for GKS scholarship. You check online because for the university track, each schools has their deadlines. So the deadline is not the same for each school. So you have to check the school you want to apply to. You check the deadline, then you send your documents, you notarize them, as I've said. You have to notarize them and legalize them at the um, in the GPS application document. You will see everything you need to know there, like how to arrange your documents. You have to arrange it in the order they said in the application documents. So you put your SOP, you put everything, put your IELTS, because having IELTS too, it gives a point. I think it's like 10 points now. So it's either you have IELTS or you have TOPIK. TOPIK is a English. TOPIK is this Korean language. What do I call it? Korean language test. Like IELTS is for English, so TOPIK is for Korean. Because there are some people that are proficient in Korean. So if you have TOPIK, if you are proficient, if you can show proficiency in Korean, you can submit your TOPIK. And if you have a TOPIK 5, then they will skip the first year Korean language this thing for you. If you have a topic 5, they will skip. You don't have to go to Korean language school again. You just have to start your masters. I hope you got me. Hello?
Yes, I get you. So you
Yeah, yeah. So
mean topic which is not English is it can be used as
yeah,
an alternative to IELTS? Is that what you
yes,
mean?
yes. Yes, it can be used. So
Even
if
though
you
they
have topic,
are tests for different languages.
yes, yes, because Korean is the official language here. So if you have topic, they will take you. You can use topic. And there's this exam again that you can use in place of English, in place of IELTS. It is TOEIC. TOEIC is also an English test. TOEIC is an English test, but
So it
it's
is even
cheaper.
different from TOEFL.
Yes, it's very different. It's cheaper
Nice.
and it is easy to pass. So, but mostly in Africa, they don't do TOEIC. So, but in Asian countries, they do TOEIC. Like here, if you want to write TOEIC here, it's like I think 50,000 won, which is approximately, let's say, 50,000 naira, and it's very easy to pass. You just write it, and
Wow.
not as difficult as the IELTS. So if anyone who wants to apply, maybe the person is in China or any Asian country, the person can just write TOEIC and pass and apply. Does not need to write IELTS. So if you can show proficiency in Korean language, then you just submit your document, you submit the language test, then you get your point for language too. So if you have, as I said before, if you have a topic 5 band, then you can skip the Korean language first year, then just go to your masters and finish your program. Just go to your masters. So the major thing is that the Korean they will teach you that first year is just like a survival Korean, like to interact with the people in the community. It's not like that is what all your course all your that is not the medium of instruction for your masters. It's just for you to be able to speak to the people in the community. You want to buy something, you want to go to something, you are going to somewhere, you want to ask some for directions, so you'll be able to speak little Koreans to them. But your school will
Your school,
determine.
they'll teach in
They
English
will teach.
language. Yeah. Just like DAAD. That's what they do for their awardees. They
Mhm,
learn
mhm.
German for some months before they resume study. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
it's just to survive. It's just to survive, and they will pay you stipend throughout
Yeah,
the.
they do. They do. That do.
But one thing they do is that during the first year, you have to stay in the school dormitory for that first year Korean language. So it's a way for them to see you interact with the Koreans in the dormitory. You'll be able to speak to them. So, but once you get to the second year, when you want to start your masters, you can stay outside. You can just get an apartment outside and stay. It's not compulsory for you to stay in the school, in the dorm. So for the first year, you have to stay in the dorm. It's very important. And the stipends, I think now they increased the stipend to like 1.3 million won, which is like 1.3 million naira, because before it's like 1 million naira, 1 million won every month, which is like, let's say, 1 million naira, even though Korean won is
Okay, your
not
your currency is one. Yeah, okay.
Korean won. So,
The scholars
so,
are rich. Oh.
so it's like 1 million naira. But you are saying the scholars are rich, but there are a lot of things to pay for. You have to pay for accommodation. You have to pay for um, but if you are a GKS scholar, then you don't have to pay for health insurance. The government will cover for that, but you have to pay for your accommodation. If your accommodation, if you have to pay for gas in your accommodation, you have to pay for electricity in your
Oh,
accommodation.
really?
In the dorm, you just have to pay for the semester. But most people don't like to stay in the dorm, so you just have to stay outside. But if you are not a GKS scholar, if you are not government picking, then that way you have to pay for health insurance. You have to pay for your health insurance from the money the professor is paying you, and you have to pay for other things too. And the cost of living in Korea, you cannot compare it to Nigeria. Things are expensive here, so don't just
Definitely. You
don't
can't
say
compare.
scholars are rich. The money is big in your eyes, but before you buy one or two things, you're spending a lot.
I
So
understand.
that is that
Do you eat
about
pepper
the.
in Korea?
Yeah, there's
Like
pepper.
difference in culture? Oh, wow.
There's pepper,
So you
but
have
not
you
like
have
Nigeria pepper.
swallow.
Not like Nigeria pepper. Like I think if you know this, should I call it chombo? This thing. That's what they have.
Okay, bell pepper.
Yes, and it's not that spicy. Like it's like normal this thing. They just call it spicy. But then when people are
Spicy
jerodori,
way, no spicy.
so that is that about the GKS scholarship. So you have to apply. The application opens February 2nd. Then you have to select the one you want. You cannot pick university track and embassy track. You have to pick one. Okay, I will apply to the university track. Then you pick the school. There's always I think three set of schools, A, B, C. So the A are high rank schools, then the B are normal schools, like not high rank, but they are good schools. And I think they have C, but I'm not sure about the C. But they have A and B. I'm very sure about that. So what we usually advise people is to pick from B, is to pick from the B, like the like medium schools. So because the high rank schools
Okay.
we have a lot of people selecting them, like the first class, the D's, they have a lot of criteria and all those things. So just select from the medium schools and they have good ranking too. So that is that about it. Then you submit your application. If you are submitting to university track, you send your documents to the university. They will write the the address to send the documents to. You can send through DHL. If you're applying for the embassy track, you send your documents to the embassy. Then you wait. They will mail you for the next step, maybe an interview. Then you attend the interview. Then they will mail you again till the stuff is completed. So I think that covers the GKS application.
Nice. So you studied engineering. Are you aware of any agriculture related graduates? Anybody who studied something related to agriculture?
Yes, one of my friends in my because I am in the second campus of my university. So one of my friend is in the first campus. Him and his wife, they are both agriculturists. The guy is doing something
No.
with animal, this thing with poultry stuff. His research is on poultry. So he works with birds and they do this thing. And the wife, I think she's doing this precision agriculture, all those stuff. So there is agriculture, these things. There are a lot of agricultural schools here. They have agricultural departments.
Even
They
forestry?
of course, they have forestry. Why? What do you think? You think they don't do all those things we do? They do all those things we do too. They have forestry, they have geology, they have soil and groundwater, they have everything.
So this is an opportunity for people who studied agric extension, forestry, fisheries, animal
Mhm.
science,
Yeah,
crop
of course.
science, soil science.
One thing is just that do not restrict yourself to one area. I think that my friend I'm talking about, he did like agric extension is in his undergraduate, his bachelor.
Nice.
Now he's working with poultry. He has finished his masters. He's doing his PhD currently and he's working on poultry, birds, and
And
he's
because
also
extensionists, they have all this knowledge about forestry, about all of that sections.
Mhm.
So
So the guy
it
is
makes
working.
sense. It makes sense.
So it's a very good thing. So one thing I would like to talk about is about this GP, this grade point. People that finished with
We have a
um
question already on that.
people that finished with a lower GP. Let me make it clear. Okay, let me make it clear. Now I had 3.43 while I was in the university, while I graduated from my
That's a
bachelor.
2-2.
Yeah, I had
Is that a
3.43.
2-2?
Yes, that is 2 2. 3.5 is upper. Upper starts from 3.5, then till 4.49. That is upper, second class upper. So from 4.5 above, that is first class. So from 3.49 to some area, you have 2 2 before you get to the pass and before you get to others. So I had 3.43, which is a second class lower. So when I wanted to start applying for scholarships, because my GP is like low because of Nigerian factor, okay, your GP is second class lower. But that is not the case. The case is that um, you have to check because the grading system Nigeria use is not the same thing with other countries. Like each country has
Yes.
their own
Yes.
grading system. So if I change my own GP to the Korean grading system, if you check the GKS file, it's there already. They already converted it. If your grading system is 4.0, 4.5, 4.25, 5.0, so then they list the GP from year to year. You have something percent from year to year. So when I checked my own, I had 81% with 3.43. So 3.43 falls at 81%, which is good in Korea.
Sometimes
Like,
it is good to convert.
so you have to convert to that is why you would see some people going to the USA doing worse If you do worse, if you have a result in Nigeria and if you do worse, your results will increase because the grading system will favor you. So Nigeria grading system is a little harsh. So that is why people should confirm what they have to do. So if you have a GP that is low, like somebody like me, then you have to do other things. Like I told you before, I wrote IELTS and I tried to like my undergraduate, my bachelor's thesis. My professor published the paper, so I had like two papers then. So then I was trying to improve myself in any other ways that I can do so. But my bachelor's thesis was on wood. It was on wood for construction. And now I am working in a concrete lab. So I did not limit myself to say, okay, I want to work with a wood stuff, a wood research. Because, uh, Korea does not really use wood for construction. I think maybe because of their weather. So they use concrete, but they use a lot of furnitures too. So I'm working in a concrete lab. So I just converted my this thing. I saw my grade point, converted it to Korea, and it's okay. Then I applied. Then it was fine. I know a friend that had like 3.2, and he got a fully funded scholarship in Korea with stipend. He had 3.2 in Nigeria, and he fought. His GP converted for like 80%. So
This
it's
is
not.
a real motivation to people
So,
who
so it's
have
not.
who think they
It's
have
not.
low CGPA in Nigeria and they cannot get scholarship opportunities. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
talking about
you
that.
have to. You have to really look at where you want to go. I know of people that are in USA and Canada and they had lower too. I know somebody in Canada, he had lower. So the, I think the first thing that made me that motivated me more is when I saw a friend with a lower in chemistry. He got two scholarship in China, two fully funded scholarship. He got the UCAS scholarship and he got a scholarship in the CSC scholarship. So I pursued China then. I got a scholarship in China too, but because of Corona, so I was not able to go. So then I moved to applying to Korea. Then the second year I got a scholarship in Korea. Then Korea opened their border. China closed their border then. So I just did Corona test and I did what they call this. I did this test and they gave us this book. Okay, you don't have Corona. And I came into the country. When I got in the country, I did another test at the medical center. Okay, you don't have Corona, so that's all. So I came to Korea. So it's all about what you want. If you have a low GP, does not mean you cannot get a scholarship.
So
You
it's
just
your
have to.
mindset and your readiness to pursue what you really want
Yeah,
to.
yeah, because
I think you already
the
answered Joshua's question.
Joshua's
The
question.
question
The
was
question was,
maybe you should mute
the
your
maybe
mic.
you should mute
Okay.
your mic. Okay.
Is it very
I
possible?
think very
Is it
possible
very hard
that
for a third class graduate to get scholarships abroad? I think we already answered the question. He can, I think he should convert to something like percentage or something. Or what other advice do you have for him? Or mute your mic, please. We can't hear you. We can't hear you,
you
Bashir.
can't hear you, Pasha.
Can you hear me now?
Clearly, yes.
Clearly, yes.
Yeah. So if you do something like my GP was 3.43. So if you say okay, let me convert it to percentage, I do 3.43 over 5 times 100. I will have 68 point something. I think 68.4. So you really have to go and look for that thing that they like. If you want to go to USA now, you want to convert your GP to the USA. If you start doing it 3.43 over 5, don't do that way. Just go to West website. They have this their portal. You just have to enter all your courses, all your grade, your points, your everything. Then in the end, you get your score. You get your score. So it's not like you calculate it with hand by converting it to percentage. So if I use my hand, I get 68 point something. But if I check the normal Korean grading system, where everything is written, I get 80 points, 81 points. I hope you understand. So it's not like you converting it yourself. So if you want to say I convert it
Okay.
with my hand, I get 68 point something, whereas it's not the same. It's 80 points in the Korean grading system. So it's the same thing for those people that do WES. They do WES to convert their CGPA to the American standard and Canadian standard. So, and if you do that, I think WES always, if you have a carryover, WES always removes it, and I think it does not affect your cumulative GPA like the way they do in Nigeria, where the carryover will affect you.
Okay,
Like
we'll
stuff
have
like
pets. Okay.
so stuff like that. So if people do worse, your result will always increase because it's divided by four. So when I did my worst on my worst this thing, I didn't do the official one. So I just went to their website and inputted I input the scores, the grade and everything. My GP was better. It was better than the this thing. So it was over four, and I think I cannot remember. I think I wrote it somewhere there. So it's just for you to how will to what length can you go? To what length can you go
And you go
to
for
get
yourself, for your dream.
what you want? You would spend money. You would spend money. You would spend time. You would research, meet scholars, ask them questions. Like if you want to apply to Korea, meet somebody in Korea, ask the person questions. You want to apply to China, meet China, ask questions. Join groups where they post scholarship opportunities, mail professors. So all those things, then improve yourself. If you can write papers, collaborate with people, write research papers, one, two, three, then do IELTS. If you can do GRE, do GRE. So equip yourself. No professor or no scholarship will select you if you are not anything, if you don't have anything to offer. But when they see what you have, sometimes they just overlook the grade and they just say, okay, this person, like a professor now, if you have papers, the professor needs somebody that can write paper, and you see that your grade is not really too good, but you have research, you have the ability to conduct the research. You have seen that, and you can write research, this thing, journals, and you are seeing that. So some professors just go with that and say there's no problem. They just take you and you start your life. So that's just about it. And applying to China too is really important. But I must tell people that all scholarships are very competitive, so you have to prepare very well. So for the person that had a third class, I think I will advise the person to do like a maybe a PG course, because I don't know about third class, but I know about two. So I think I would advise the person to do a PG, postgraduate diploma or something. Yeah, postgraduate diploma. I think it's 1 year. So that way the person should just try to get a good grade from the diploma. Then after that, he can start pursuing. After that, he can maybe write some papers, write IELTS, and start pursuing the scholarship. This thing just to increase the
Yeah,
this
increase
thing.
the chance. I understand you.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So any other
That's
question?
inspiring. Yeah, I'm checking the question. That's why the camera is off. Can you mute your mic, please? The heckle. Okay. The next question will be that when you were applying, did you just apply for just the best KNU scholarship? So that would extend to advice to people who just want a particular scholarship. For me, I wanted Mastercard UBC to Canada. So I focused more on Mastercard UBC, but I got Erasmus. So what advice do you have for people who just want a particular? People get it, trust me, but not everyone will get it because they have a specific slots per year, per department, per faculty. So what advice do you have for people who just want a single kind of scholarship and country?
Pertaining to this is what I want. You have to really prepare yourself. One thing is I would first look at the profile of the people that have gotten the scholarship. You look at their profile first. Okay, if I like now you got um if I say okay I want Erasmus, then if I see an Erasmus scholar, okay, then I'll try to ask from that person's profile, then I can evaluate my profile and see for myself. Okay, this is if you see that your profile is too far from that person, I would just advise you to check the website of where you want, look at their criteria, what they want. If you meet it, fine. If you don't meet it, it's better to just look for something else. Don't kill yourself on this is what I want. Like because there are other scholarships that are very beneficial also to people.
Exactly,
Exactly,
exactly.
exactly.
So you don't have to kill yourself on this is what I want. I did not. I didn't. Okay, I think I applied to one school or two schools in USA then. Then my major country I was applying to was China. To apply to China. So I then later got a scholarship there. I never ever thought of applying to Korea. So as at that time, when China closed their border, so some of my friends got scholarship in Korea in spring semester. So then they told me, "Oh, I'm going to Korea." Korea opened their border. I said yes. So they are going, and I was like, "What am I doing?" Then I started to mail for Korea. I never even planned it before. It was just because my friends got Korea. Then I started to mail. I will tell you that it took me 3 months to get a professor. It took me 3 months to get a professor that said yes. So I got actually got two professors. One said come for GKS. One said come for professors funding. So I just had to go with the professor's funding because I don't want to spend 3 years for my masters. So like, okay, I want to do 2 years masters. I don't want 3 years. So I told the GKS man that okay, I'm not coming. So then I went with the I
The
I,
best
Let's
KNU.
hear you.
I proceeded with the best KNG because it's 2 years and I think it's okay for me. Like 2 years, then I can start my PhD in the third year instead of still being with the what's it called the GKS for 3 years. So I just chose what I want. I chose what I wanted. So if you know you have a good grade, you can compete with the people competing for the scholarship you want. It's fine. Somebody like you applied for Erasmus and you got it. Erasmus is one of the scholarship that is very competitive. But if you don't have what it takes, don't kill yourself. Look for something better. All scholarships are very,
All
very.
scholarships
All
are good.
scholarships are good.
All.
All scholarships are life changing. So it's just people that have lowers. What they do is they come to Asia, they try to improve their this thing, they have good grade, they write papers, then they move to the West for PhD and other things like that. I hope you get. They just use Asia as stepping stone. Okay, step here and they climb. So one of them be akaba. Say, okay, I cannot fly to
I
USA
like
because
like that because
USA is very competitive. They take first class, they take these, whereas they take other people too. If you have upper, if you have lower, you have a chance. You have to write papers. So okay, if you know, okay, I don't have that, I cannot do the stress of that. Okay, let me go to Korea, then at least or China, I'll got in. Though Korea and China too are very competitive now. So if you get in, you try to set your mind. I want good grade. You have good grade. You write papers. Then in your last semester, you move to. I have two friends that have went to USA now. This August, a friend of mine he was a first class student in Nigeria. He came for GKS. He finished his GKS. He resumed to USA for PhD. So and I know somebody too with a
nice.
lower. He finished in Korea. He finished in Korea. He did not even do his graduation. He resumed in USA for PhD. So what do you want, and how willing to what length are you willing to go, and what other choice do you have? Don't just stay with choice A. Have a plan B. That okay, if this does not work. So the year I applied for Korea, I think I applied for Poland and I applied for Korea. Poland was a paid this thing. I was going to pay like a self-funded. But who get money now? Money no dey now. So I got a scholarship here, and I said, why would I now go and pay in another place? So I just came to Korea.
That was good.
That was good.
Can you mute your mic? Yeah, so we have a question here. Please, do Korea offer a master's degree in educational psychology or social work? Have you heard anything about that?
I think they should have, because they have all other. It just depends on the schools you have to check. You have to do a real check. You have to do check. They have all courses. They have medicine. They have this thing. They will have. I'm 100% sure. But I don't have any friends working in that I've seen in those areas. Most people I am familiar with here that I know, most especially Nigerians, are either engineering, agriculture. It's either engineering or agriculture, but I've not seen people. I know. I think I know. I know a lady that came for self-fund computer science or something. So they have all courses too. It's a university, so they have all courses. You have to check. So the way I checked while I was coming to Korea, while I wanted to start applying to Korea was I used this 4ICU. I don't know if you know. I just type Korean University, Korean universities on Google, 4ICU. I just put it there. I just put it on Google. Then the first link it brought, I clicked it, then it brought all the universities in Korea. So one thing you have to do is you click the university, you check the university web page, you just right click, you change the page to English, then you go to the courses, you check the courses, then you go to the faculty place, you click on the faculty, you see the professors there. If you see anyone working in your field, you see their email, you mail them. That's what I did. I just mailed my professor and he replied. And and that was it. So, and you don't need my professor sent me to apply for my visa. I did not show any proof of fund. He sent me his bank statement, and he sent me a letter for funding. Like, okay, he's going to fund me. There's, I think he sent me three. He sent me his enrollment. Is that employment certificate? Like I am a lecturer. Like from the university, it was stamped. Then he sent me his bank statement, like that showed that he has money. And he sent me another document. I said it now, like something certificate of I've forgotten the name. I think certificate of fund or something. So with those three documents, I just packed my document, moved to the Korean embassy, applied for visa, and that was it. I don't have to show any money or anything. And the Korean embassy in Lagos, there's no interview. You just submit your document. If you pass, in 2 weeks you get your visa. If you fail, then they reject your visa. Then they tell you why. There's a link to check it. They have a website where you check. And they tell you why they reject. So there's no interview. There's nothing like you are meeting the visa officer or anything. You just submit your document at the embassy and you leave. The rest is just to check online.
That was straightforward. And in the comment section, oh, can you hear me? Okay. In the comment section, I shared the link from the video we did earlier, where we explained all the requirements necessary for scholarship application. We were there. We were there. So thank you so much for coming again. Let me check if we have further
We have further
questions.
questions.
Okay. No. Okay. I think we don't have further questions. I can't find any question
Find any
here.
question
We've
here?
really explained
You really explained
both
what
opportunities and even
opportunities are
more.
even more.
Yeah, so as I was saying, as I said earlier, the GKS application will open. They start taking application from February 2. They will start. You will see the form. Just go to Google. Just Google GKS 2025 next year, February. You'll see it. Apply. Follow everything religiously. Check the university you want to apply. If you're applying for the university track, if you're applying for the embassy track, do what they want, submit your document, and wait for interview. If you're applying to the then if you apply February, then you would resume. If you get a scholarship by August, you should be in Korea because you are going to start your program September the same year. But if you're applying for the professor's funding, I think that time when I applied, my university application opened around April. It's like 2 weeks to apply to the university. Just 2 weeks. It opens for 2 weeks, so you have to all your documents should be prepared. So it opened for 2 weeks. I applied in April, and I got to Korea in September. I left Nigeria September 6th, in 2022. So if you're applying for the that was for the fall semester, but if you're applying for the spring semester, then around October you should start checking the university website. So October, November, then you will resume March, 1st of March. So that's how it works. October, November, the application will be open. It's not more than 2 weeks. Then you would resume March. But um, for the fall semester, if you're applying for professor's funding, around May, April, it is open. It's no more than 2 weeks. So just apply, submit, then you would resume um, September. So I always advise people to mail professor down. You just mail the professor, okay, I've gotten a professor. Because applying to Korea is very expensive. So I would not advise anybody to rush to Abuja to do legalization and go to the Grand Embassy, legalize certificates and legalize your transcript. Make sure you have a professor first before you start spending money. I hope you understand because it's expensive. So uh, get a professor that is willing to take you then before you start committing your funds. So after that, then you can submit it because you have to send your document to Korea too. So that's another money. So make sure you get a professor who is interested in you before you start spending your money.
Thank you so much for the detailed explanation of the two scholarship opportunities. I hope after watching this video, even if you are not aware of anything in South Korea, you must know that people are winning scholarships to study there, either for free, either funded by university or even the government. So thank you so much for coming again because you came earlier to
Earlier
explain
to explain
Yeah,
scholarship
I think
requirements.
scholarship
I think
requirements.
I mentioned the COICA. Let me just brief the COICA. If you are a government worker, you work for the government, maybe the federal government, or the state government, maybe Lagos State or any other state, and you have this thing that you can show that you're a government worker, you just check Koika scholarship, Koica scholarship in Korea. So it's used to, I don't know the time they open, but I think it's fall semester you have to resume to. So it's only for government worker to come for masters. So then everything is covered too. Everything is covered. You get stipend, you get everything too. So, but the condition there for Koika is you have to return home. They would pay for your flight to go home after you finish your program. For
Okay, that is
GKS too,
like
they would pay for your
That is
flight.
Commonwealth
like
and
Commonwealth
Shevlin.
Yeah,
and Shivling.
yeah. For the GKS, they will pay for your flight to come, but you can decide to stay after you finish your GKS. There's no condition for GKS. But for Koika, you have to go back. They would pay for your flight to go back home. So then I've seen people that finish the Koika program. Before they finish, they already applied for PhD. So when after getting to Nigeria, they spent some weeks and they came back to Korea. But they already got a PhD position before they left. So anyhow you do it, you shall have a way to come back if you want to come back. You would go back according to the law, but you can always come back for PhD. And if your visa has not expired, you can come back. I've seen cases where someone finished the Koika scholarship, then the visa has not expired, then he came back to Nigeria, then he took a flight back after some weeks to Korea, then resumed his PhD. Then he will change his visa in Korea. So there's always ways. The person just have to talk to people. There are a lot of scholarships. But the Quaker, I know, but and the Quaker is the courses is based on university. Like my university now, Kangwon National University, they only sponsor agric economics for Quaker. So if you are your area is agric economics and you're a government worker, you can come to Kangwon National University for Quaker scholarship. You just apply. But I think Kyongbuk National University in Daegu, I think their own has to do with engineering something. So each school has their own area they picked for the Quaker scholarship. So that's one thing to look into.
I think the last question will be that, can you mute your mic, please? Will be that, do Korea scholars have the opportunity to bring in their spouses? Because I had a session recently where I
Recently, I
invited some
invite
friends in different countries, and one of the topic, how to bring your spouse as a scholarship awardee, maybe master's or PhD, and we realized that for some countries they do not accept master students bringing in their partners. In Korea, do they accept that?
Yeah, they accept you to bring your spouse. They accept you. Even if you are a GKS scholar, it is very easy. GKS scholars just bring their spouse. After their 1 year Korean language, they have to stay in the dorm. So you can bring your spouse. A lot of them have their spouse with them, GKS scholars. But if you are not a GKS scholar, then you have to show proof of fund. You have to show proof of fund and meet other criteria. Once you meet them, it's fine. Your wife can come or your husband.
No,
your
But if you are
interesting.
a GKS scholar, it's super easy. You are government speaking, your wife will come. So
Like
it's
the
very easy.
like
NYS,
their wives,
The what?
like the
like
NYSC
their
federal
wives see
government
federal
in Nigeria.
communication in Nigeria.
so that's this thing. So it's very easy. You can bring your wife once you meet the criteria. You have to show proof of fund. Then you have to send some documents from here to Nigeria to show, or to your country to show that okay you are here. Then you send document. You have to legalize those documents here. That is on process. You cannot go into that because that's not
Yeah,
the
no
case. But
problem.
what
No problem.
what you have to know is that you can bring your spouse.
So for the
So,
next
but
For the
session,
next
we'll be talking
session, here
about
we're talking about
bringing in spouse
bringing in
for
spouse for
other different
other
countries.
different countries.
I will try to
I will
invite
try to
someone who is
invite
married
someone who's married
in Korea.
in
and
Korea.
also the
Thank you.
same thing for
Thank you.
China too. If you are in China, I know a friend of a friend doing his masters brought his spouse to in China. So for
China,
masters.
okay. Thank you
China,
for
okay.
giving
Thank
me
you
all
for
this.
giving me all this.
So it's easy because those countries too they realize that people have to be with their family. So it's fine.
Not all
Not
countries
all
realize
countries
that.
realize that.
Let's say all those stingy countries. But one thing is, according to the law, your spouse cannot work legally. If you bring your spouse in, the spouse cannot work
Oh, that's
Oh,
because
another
I
that's
think they
thing.
call
another
it
thing.
F2 visa, or yes, F2 in Korea. Your spouse cannot work. So you have to be the one that would cater for your wife. But if your spouse works, nobody will know. Like people do it, their wife work codedly and they make money. So nobody will know. So but legally, your wife is not supposed to work.
But the many,
For
many
the many,
jobs
many
they
jobs
can do.
they can do.
Yeah, there are some many jobs they can do and they make money.
Yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
so much
Thank you so
for
much for
coming, for your
coming
time.
for your time.
Because even the
Welcome
time
to the
zone
Even the
community.
time zone
differences
differences
can make it
can
difficult
make it
sometimes.
difficult sometimes.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, thank you so much
Yeah,
for
thank you
showing
so much
up.
for showing up.
And we wish
Yes.
our
And we
guests
wish
the
our
best.
guests the best.
So can you
You said
Can
wish
you
them the best
wish
in
them the
Korea?
best in Korea?
you said what?
Wish them the
Wish
best in
them the best
Korean,
in Korean,
your language,
the
huh?
language.
Uh I don't know how to say that in Korean because I did not go to the Korean listing, but I only know a few things like hello, like I want to buy this, how are you, and this
For
that.
For
2 years.
2 years.
Thank you. I my work is I didn't go to the I slide the GKS scholarship. I should not. I can introduce myself. I went to a Korean class just for 2 semesters, just to learn how to introduce yourself, how to buy things. So I did not really go into this thing. Then I just took it like a normal course, not like study Korean language for 1 year. So Emo Bino, Yoruba la wa gbọ́.
Siwala.
Voila.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Àwọn
much.
tó bá ṣe GKS lẹ́wọ̀n á rí kọ́ wa bá yín sọ Korean. And tí ò bá ti ṣe GKS, it's very hard for the person to speak Korean language. There are a lot of people that have stayed more than 2 years here. They don't even understand Korean. So it's not my fault.
Okay.
But my professor is not angry about that. So yeah, Emo Bino.
And
And
you are getting
and you are
paid.
getting paid.
Ah, ṣé Korean language máa fi kọ paper ni? Korean language kọ́ máa fi kọ paper now. Or kọ́ máa fi ṣe research now. Because you understand English sef, you are an asset to them. So forget it.
Okay.
Okay.
Korea is not an English speaking country. They will write research paper now, and research paper are in English. So if you can write research paper, you are getting a position, sure. You can write
Yeah.
research paper, you show them you have good English command. Forget Korean language, you would that one help.
Thank you,
Thank you,
wonderful audience
wonderful
and
audience and
subscribers.
subscribers.
Do well to share and subscribe to
Share
the
and subscribe to
channel
the
if
channel.
you've not.
Subscribe to
See
our
you next
YouTube
time.
channel. Share our YouTube channel. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá wa tẹ share, ẹ tẹ subscribe, ẹ like ẹ. Ó ti yé yín.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
All right.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
My camera,
My
don't fuck up.
camera don't fuck up.